Casual family dining with fast and friendly service. From gourmet pizza and barbecue to creative pasta and seafood. It's time to make the 466 Pub and Grill part of your family's regular indulgence. With an extensive menu full of delicious foods and a vast variety of beer and wine, the 466 is the spot to watch the big game or catch up with friends. Sit down, take out, or have your next family function catered at the 466 Pub and Grill on Route 1 in Danvers.
It's Monday Night Football on the best day of the week. I'm 2-2. Climb aboard, kids. Denver! Mile high, bloody noses. Kansas City Chiefs. Indians riding the horse. Mile high. Mile high. Mile high. It's gonna be a close game. KC wins. Denver covers. Take Denver. Mahomes will pick apart Denver's D-backs. They're all midgets. Mahomes! Mahomes! Travis Kelce, you're no Gronk. Noodle arm, Casey Keenum. Noodle. Denver will cover. Denver's gonna cover. Put your money on Denver, you idiots. Put your money on the horse. Put your wampum on Big Jesse. You want to bet with me and make a living for a lifetime? Quit your job. Bet with me. Monday! Woo! Yeah! It's the Monday! Oh my God! Monday!
Unbelievable.
It's Monday.
Welcome to the I Love Monday show. I'm Carlo, Mr. Monday. I got my wonderful guest, Taso, over here.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me again.
I know, it's good to see you.
You're awesome. You're improving every week.
Well, thank
Love
you.
it.
Oh, thank
Love
you.
it. You're a natural.
Thank you. Thanks for the pat in the back.
Incredible
Coming
staff.
from you, you don't really give too many.
No, I don't.
Too many compliments to other people besides yourself.
That's right.
What do we got, McClusk? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome. If I am mumbling, it's because I'm stuffing roast beefs in my mouth. I'm an addict. John's Roast Beef is sponsoring tonight's show. You guys should head on.
As usual, our food sponsor.
Yeah, that's the
You got to
only way
head
I
on
can get
down
on.
to 111 Western Ave in Lynn. Try the mouth-watering sandwiches, the amazing dinners, and make sure to ask for the new chili wings. We got some up here.
Yes,
They're
Asian
probably
chili
gone
wings.
by now, but
Asian chili wings.
Sweet and spicy, like you like
Really?
it, buddy.
Really? That's nice. Does an Asian person make the chili wings?
No.
No.
We don't want to say Asian person. Just a person in general.
Nice. Can we talk about the girl who manages the place, Alicia? She is the best.
Remarkable girl.
I think she
Remarkable.
gets
Alicia Pacheco.
I think she gets half your business value because it's not you.
Well, absolutely not me. It's not the food. It's really Alicia's smile. No, she does a great job. Everybody loves her, and yeah, I'm very grateful to have her.
You've always had the best roast beef around, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
How come there's not more like roast beef joints throughout the country like we have in this area?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. A lot. I get that. I get those requests, especially through social media. Like, why just the North Shore? And it's just, I think it's just knowledge, ignorance. People are used to Arby's, and that seems to be the staple outside Massachusetts. But you know, we do beef right here in the state, but really in the North Shore. North Shore is the capital of the world.
I've never went to an Arby's in my life.
Ooh, don't
never
swear.
once.
No.
Never once.
No.
Don't swear. All right, let's go to shoot the shit right away.
Ooh.
Colombian lady fakes she's pregnant for 9 months so her husband won't leave her. What happened here?
This is insane, right? So this woman, she thinks her guy's going to leave her, and she takes a pillow cushion and shoves it up her shirt. This idiot doesn't realize it for 9 months, but she runs out of time because the thing's supposed to pop out around then. So what they do is they rush her. She like disappears the day she's supposed to go to be induced for a cesarean. She tells her husband that she was kidnapped by a gang that kidnapped her baby, cut her open, and took it. So his first reaction is like, let's go to the hospital. Let's get this taken care of. They bring her there. There's no cuts. She made it up. She was never pregnant.
Interesting.
So this guy didn't sleep with her for 9 months? He didn't feel the pillow?
I think it's just one of those My Pillows. They're very conforming.
I imagine he just bent her over something and didn't pay attention to the.
I mean, did she stuff the pillow up her vajayjay to become pregnant, or she like stuffed it down her shirt?
That hurts.
I don't know.
It's soft.
But like, she convinced her parents. She convinced her family. She told everybody. But like, what was the end game here? Like, was that her end game? She was just going to say, "I'll just say that they cut him out and not have a scar."
Did they have like more than one kid together?
I don't think they've ever had a kid together. We talked earlier. I think what you said, like maybe this guy was doing something on the side.
I think he had a girl on the side, and she knew it, and she didn't want him to leave him, so she had a fake to keep him around, saying she was pregnant.
Was it a goose down pillow? Because that makes a difference.
If she went down, there probably wouldn't be a baby. That's what you got to worry about in these situations. You can't swallow a child.
That's pretty ingenious for a Colombian person. You know?
That's great.
It's a great
national excitement.
All right, next. Notorious Italian playboy who had over 6,000 notches in his belt dies while having sex with a 23-year-old tourist.
You know, see, I thought this was a story about a fat guy with all the notches in his belt, but it's really about banging a lot of slutty Italian chicks, which sounds like a really cool thing,
How do you
right?
know it's a guy or a girl?
I read the article.
And how do you know they're all Italian?
He acknowledged it. They're going to Italian clubs.
Italian girls do not do that.
This guy, Maurizio Zanfanti,
not for you.
he became a famous nightclub promoter because when he was 17 years old, he would hang out in front and just get all these hot chicks to come inside. And then he would bang them all. And he did this up until he retired, like, recently because he just couldn't do it anymore. But he didn't stop banging 23-year-old girls, and one of their vaginas strangled his dick to death.
Well,
He died at the dick?
wait a minute.
He died mid-coitus.
I mean, okay, I'm going to leave. You can take this one. Sounds like a similar story.
I mean, Italian men and Greek men are pretty horny guys, let's face it. And, I want to ask the audience out
I would
there.
say excited.
I want to know if you got a helmet or an anteater. Like, text it in. Because, seriously, guys with anteaters are way more horny than guys with helmets, from what I understand.
Based on the survey that you've taken?
Yeah. Just based on, like, my family members and friends.
Listen,
Focus group.
what happens in a locker room stays in a locker room.
I'm just saying, though, like those, I mean, he probably had an anteater. He was never circumcised, and he's a real horny son of a gun.
He had a real bear of a chest there. It looks like,
He's a sexual deviant.
he is, but people love him. Italy built a statue out of wax for this guy. Seriously, that's not an exaggeration.
Should have been latex.
So I want to know if guys that have helmets are they're not circumcised.
Yeah,
Helmet!
I'm sure they're calling in right now. They can't wait to
What about
expose
you?
that.
What about the Greeks?
Like a turtle. Come out whenever we want.
All right.
Sorry, hun.
Sorry about that. Hard pill to swallow. Scientists think they can fight obesity using a tablet containing human caca.
A new magic pill out of New Zealand is prepared to revolutionize weight loss. It contains human caca with healthy bacteria lodging itself in the taker's gut. The pill is in its trial phase with testing due to conclude at the end of 2019. The program is targeting adolescents who are deemed overweight. So basically, healthy people are shitting in the mouths of unhealthy people to make them better.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I just tasted my own vomit.
This doesn't make a lot of sense.
They want you to human centipede in somebody else's mouth.
So, I mean, obviously you're going to lose your appetite if you're eating someone else's caca.
That's a fair point, right?
So-
Wait a minute. Does it have to taste like that? Could they do it like with
It's in a
like
pill
cinnamon flavored or hazelnut flavored caca?
Hazelnut, yeah.
Like this time of the year, pumpkin
Like
spice
K-cups?
caca pills. Just don't burp within 20 minutes.
Where do we find this stuff?
I research I have like fecal tags. Anytime a poop story comes up, it just goes right to my
do
phone.
you like look at these Facebook ads that pop up? Like,
Yeah, like-
guy with 5 heads gives birth to girls with 2 heads.
Family emergencies on my phone, those are in sleep mode. But if you have a dookie stained wall, I'm gonna get that message alert.
So do people actually go to a science lab and they poop in a barrel and then they take peeps of the poop out and put it in a pill form?
I'd like to imagine girls with
Like,
small
how do they
hands.
do this?
Girls with small hands and a toothbrush or
I'm just so shocked that no one's picked you up yet. No network has picked you up yet. I'm just like, I don't even know why you're still
honestly,
here.
but I do want to put it out there that I'm volunteering 3 nights a week. You can lick my ass, and if that helps you lose weight, then more power to you.
You like that?
Commercial?
Oh, this one here is really nuts. Outrage as Facebook video emerges of a 9-year-old boy getting a tattoo.
9-year-old boy from Ohio. This is ridiculous. Okay, so we're going to see the video footage. The girl on the right here is just a family friend. The kid is, what would we say, 9 years old?
Who's the girl with the red hair?
That's a boy who's 16 years old administering the tattoo to a 9-year-old, okay? The mother is the one videotaping this and presumably smoking crack.
Shocked.
And who's the girl holding the kid? The kid's girlfriend?
Honestly, it's probably both his sister and the mother of his child in 10 years. These people look like the worst of the worst. And the tattoo doesn't even come out cool. You know what I mean?
What's the tattoo he's getting?
It's an S.
Like Superman or like...
Like stupid.
Yeah, what do you think the S stands for? Let's think of some of the, like, stupid parent,
Sad.
shitty mother. Like, honestly, you let your 9-year-old kid get a tattoo?
I mean, the only argument for that is that,
Section 8.
by the time the kid's in the 6th grade, all the girls are going to put out, right? He's the only kid with ink.
S means shit for brains.
Yeah. Let's frost the kid's tips, too. Let's go full douchebag with this kid, right?
I mean, the thing is parental consent. I'm sure his mother had to sign something, so, you know. we can
I
do
don't
what
think so.
No?
No.
She can't even write her own name as mother.
No. They misspelled S.
Yeah.
When I was...
You said it.
Oh, God.
Parents used to tattoo their kids with a ruler.
Yeah, I don't like this stuff.
No, it's pretty disgusting.
All right, next. Breed and design of dogs is a worldwide epidemic, says expert as breeders.
Yeah, animal expert Madeline Bernstein has written an expose on designer dogs. Her new book shows that there's a lurid criminal world of crossbreeding. She said the owners are being conned by gangs and paying for mutts so that people like Jennifer Aniston can have conversation pieces with bad lungs and oversized ears. Basically, they're making big dogs bang little dogs, and we're getting these weird, creepy mutant dogs out of here.
Can you just go back to Jennifer Aniston?
So we're not talking about humans having sex with dogs.
No, but just
Talking
imagine Shaquille O'Neal and an Olsen twin. Basically, the outcome of that might not. It might break the animal.
What would be the weirdest
I
pairing?
just pictured Shaquille O'Neal and Olsen twin.
What would be the weirdest pairing?
Everywhere
of,
you
like,
look.
two breeds having sex, like having a pup together.
Why are
Like
you looking at a Greek guy when you ask that?
like a Great Dane and like a poodle would be kind of strange.
Or a snake and a cow.
I have a donkey that acts like a billy goat.
A snake and a cow doesn't have to be a dog though. Or is it?
Not in the type of videos that I watch. No.
You know, I know people who are dog breeders, and they like some of these guys carry like the dog sperm all over the world. Like they fly
Because they don't wash their face?
No, they like in like a tube, and they go down to this breeder in like Virginia or some.
We
other
do not use any
weird
of those
state.
chemicals at John's Roast Beef.
No way. We know that. All right, bless you. All right, enough of shoot the shit here. Let's go check out a word from our sponsor. All right, Analytic Wealth, and there's a new Bubba Yeager out. Check this out. When we come back, we're going to have legend Johnny Pizzi up here with us. Be right back.
Analytic Wealth Advisors is a firm specializing in financial planning, insurance, and retirement income. Setting up your future can be tough, but Analytic Wealth is here to simplify the process, taking you from before and through retirement with clarity and focus. Time to feel confident about your future.
Hello, folks, all you playing at home. Welcome back to This Week in Bocce. I'm your host, Mr. Bubba Yeager. Stevie. Yeah. Let's party, paisans. Gentlemen, one of the hottest teams in bocce history over the last 5 years. They're like the Dan Marino Dolphins of the mid-'80s with Mark Dupa and Lawrence Claiborne, whatever his name was there, the other one. That's, hey, you guys put up yardage, not titles.
We are absolutely climbing the ranks. What has happened 2 years ago, we got best dressed. Obviously, you can tell.
Right, they're getting a little slim fit over the years, but yeah.
So we will show these shirts because it does matter. La Familia.
You guys even have undershirts. How big is your budget? You guys show you're Italian?
You looking for me? Someone said La Familia.
Don't worry about what I'm saying.
Look, defending bocce champions over the last 12 Olympics. You guys don't even, you guys just compete next.
Johnny Pizzi!
Good to be here. Nice.
Welcome, buddy. So Johnny Pizzi, one of the greatest comedians on the East Coast. What have you been up to?
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay on the right side of the grass. That's all I'm doing, Carlo.
What are you doing now? Are you doing some shows locally? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm at Giggles 2 weekends out of every month. Plus, I book comedy up at the Lots of Laughs Comedy Lounge at the China Blossom Restaurant in North Andover.
Yeah, I heard that's getting popular.
Oh, it's 8 years I've had it. It's been unbelievable. I got Don Gavin, probably the best comic in the country there this Saturday night. It's going to be great.
Who's he? I've heard about him recently.
Don is just like the father of Boston comedy, and you know, he does cruise ships all over the world, and he's just an amazing funny guy.
So you've been doing a lot of over 55 community comedy stuff?
Yep.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
This is true. He's laughing like I'm making a joke.
You never know with you.
Last year, I did an audition of 800 people. There was 8 different types of acts, and then I went on, did 15 minutes. It went great, and so now they'll stop booking me up and down the East Coast of Florida. I got to go down October 26th to Boynton Beach.
Oh, that's nice down
to do
there.
a 55 and over.
Road trip.
But I got to tell you a great story, Carlo. So I'm getting ready to go on. I'm standing outside in the lobby, and they had a big picture of me out in the lobby. And this woman, 90 years old, comes up to me. And she looks at the picture, She looks at me. She looks at the picture. She goes, "Is that you?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You're very handsome." I go, "Thank you." And she comes right up to my nose to nose, and she goes, 90 years old she is. She goes, "What I can do to you." What do you say to that?
Is that why you go to the over 55?
Well,
communities?
yeah, they're easy. They're easy. It's an easy lay. You know what I'm saying?
Grateful.
So, you've been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
You've been doing stuff with Lenny, Clarke, Sweeney, Paul D'Angelo. How has things changed from like the 80s to like now? Like what have you seen? Like what's
well, you know, when I started out, there was a comedy boom, and everybody worked, and it didn't even matter if you were funny. There were so many places to do comedy. You know, everybody was working, and then then the boom goes down, the comedy, and then only the good survive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've been so fortunate that I've been able to work with some of the greatest comics in the world. You know, Lenny Clarke, Steve Sweeney, Don Gavin, Tony V, Sam Kennison, who I loved. I've Robin Williams, Kevin Nealon, just to name a few.
You work with Sam Kennison?
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
Oh man, he was. I mean, I could tell you a great story about Sam, but he was just. I loved him because of his originality, Carla. He never did the same show twice, and I'm telling you, you never know what was going to come out. But he was, to me, he was just so. I mean, he was amazing.
What about Robin Williams?
Robin Williams, you never know what was going to come out of him. I had, like I said again, the pleasure of going to see him at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium and then hanging out with him for like 3 hours after the show. Now here he was, he just does a 2-hour show, and then for the next 3 hours in a little restaurant in Billerica, he never sat down. He entertained everybody, the cooks, the waitresses, the bartenders.
Very impressive.
Amazing, an amazing man.
You guys, was he doing the white stuff?
He had, he had just quit. He was being sober. He was trying to be sober.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, he fell off the wagon a few times, but he was Robin Williams. There was nobody like him. I mean, he was just amazing.
I think a lot of people don't realize that you're a magician.
Yeah. It started when my daughter was like 7 or 8. I used to try to entertain at all her birthday parties. One year I did Michael Jackson. I did the moonwalk, and then
that's a dangerous bit at a child's birthday
For Charlie Manson.
And then I would hire the horse, all the horsey rides, and then finally, what do I do this year? And then I went to the magic shop. I bought like 6 little tricks, and about $150,000 later, I'm still doing magic. But something, it's enabled me to be able to go somewhere, because a lot of times, you go somewhere, people go, oh, be funny, and be funny. I could do magic, get your attention, and be funny doing the magic too. So it really helps in the entertainment portion of what I do.
Kills 2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly, and it makes me more commercialized. I could, sometimes people they want a magician, you can hire me. You want a comedian, you can hire me. You want both, hire me.
Right. What do you got for like a good story, like a best and worst story of like during your comedy days?
Doing comedy.
Yeah.
Well, again, I've been so fortunate. I've worked at the Comedy Store in L.A. thanks to Lenny Clarke, the Laugh Factory, one of the hottest clubs, and like I said, I've got to work with some of the greatest. 19 years in Vegas at the Riviera, worked with some of the greats, the Tropicana.
Did you live out there?
No. I would go there like 2 or 3 times a week. 2 or 3 times a year, and I'd go to Laughlin, Reno, Las Vegas, Atlantic City. So I've been so fortunate to be able to, to travel like that, and while I held down a full-time job in the post office, mind you.
Wow.
So
very impressive. Let me ask you now: did you have an agent? Or did you go about it yourself?
Good question.
Good question. I did a lot of my own bookings, but a lot of my bookings were done by Mike Clarke, Lenny Clarke's brother, who's one of the best booking agents around, and he was the one that was responsible for me to go to a lot of these places that I did perform at.
Unbelievable. So I heard that you got a little Belichick story for us. Bill Belichick.
Well, I got to tell you, about a year ago, I got a call from Bill Belichick. He's a best friend of Lenny Clarke's, and
for our audience, he's the New England Patriots.
Yeah, he's the. Yeah,
just so you know, you people who aren't from New England.
Some of you people that might not know who Bill Belichick is, you know, possibly the greatest coach that ever lived
in any sport. Sorry.
6 Super Bowl rings.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Anyway, so Lenny, he had talked to Lenny Clarke. He wanted a magician. So there you go, being able to do the magic. And Bill calls me up, and I know you have to act like, you know, it doesn't bother you. Like the phone rings, I knew by the number. I went, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" You know, and so we went over the specifics and what I wanted, and I just wanted tickets to a game. And so flew me and my son down, put us up, nice hotel. Nantucket, yeah, to Nantucket. Nice. And then I had to go to a restaurant and you know, to do card tricks. And then here I am with 30 guys, and I had to do some great card tricks, which I thank God I did. And then he said, "Hey, Johnny, would you do me a favor?" I said, yeah, Bill, anything for you. Would you go down and do that for all the wives? Now I go downstairs, because there was another one that did it for all the wives and the girlfriends. And then we walked down to his house on Nantucket, and he had a stage set up, 130 people. It was just an amazing experience. And my son said to me it was the greatest day of his life, which anytime you can make your son feel good like that, right? And I got to tell you something, and I mean this, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He is nothing like what you see in the press conferences, because a lot of people have that thing that like, oh yeah, he's got no person. He's got the greatest personality you've ever seen, you know?
He just doesn't like the media, you know?
I don't blame him. Well, they're asking,
cool.
you know, tight ship. You know, once you're asked the same question 50 times, Carla, I guess you get kind of. But what a great guy! It was one of the great experiences of my life. And you know, I still send him a text here and there, and he always gets right back to me, which is the nicest thing.
Yeah. Can you send him one more text? What happened with Butler?
Oh, God! Now there you go. I would lose a friend if I mentioned Butler.
Yeah, just absolutely. One question.
Okay.
The only one.
I know off the air I'll tell you what happened, but on the air I'm not gonna. Okay.
Yeah. So good guy. His kid's a good kid.
Yeah, Stephen was great. His daughter Amanda, who actually was getting married 3 weeks after his son Stephen. So, but it just was one of those magic nights, you know. And
sounds it, yeah.
Yeah.
To have your kid there, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like to have the whole family there and kind of have your son there. The whole Belichick thing, that's like generational. That's pretty
exactly. Cool. You know, and then, you know, he said to me, we sat down in the hotel room, we got back, and he's like, "Dad, this was the greatest day of my life." You know, because Belichick is hugging him, you know, and I go, John Michael, you just got married 3 weeks ago. And he thought for a second, he went, "This was the greatest day of my life."
You got any good story about a heckler? Any hecklers break your chops at any shows?
I do. Okay, a true story. I'm doing this show at the Ground Round in Norwood. This is about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's your first,
baby. Oh yeah.
That's your first.
Check it out, baby.
Hey, you wait.
So I get this. So listen to this. This is the great story. So I said, so this guy, I got 2 good heckler stories, but this guy yells, "Yay!" and he starts heckling me. So I go, "Do you know why a dog licks his balls?" And he goes, "'Cause he can." I go, "No, because you're not there." And he goes like this. And he goes, "You're dead after the show." Now, for the next 40 minutes, I'm on stage going, "Oh, I'm going to get my ass kicked after the show." You know, and so the whole time I'm doing my show, all I could think of is getting the shit kicked out of me, right? So finally, and I've always been the type, if I'm going to get it done, let me go get it done. Let me get it over with. You know, whatever punishment it is. So I get my little bag of hair with me, and I walk out to the lobby, and there he is standing there. And I went over to him, and he goes, "How'd I do? Did I help you?" He puts his hand out. I went, "What?" He goes, "Did I help you out?" I go, "No, you didn't help me out, you asshole."
Does that happen to comedians get in fights sometimes? Because somebody, I mean, I can imagine that's like drunks and.
I don't think you want to, but it might happen.
Oh yeah, you know, thank God I've been so fortunate.
Like at the end of this show?
At Giggles, in 28 years, I've never got a heckler. In 28 years.
That's a really good place to see
I'm going to tell you something. I should be in the Guinness Book of Records. Because
the Guinness Book?
Oh, I mean Guinness. Sorry.
Yeah, I should be there too. Listen,
I've done over 20,000 shows on Route 1. Nobody
That's
has
incredible.
has done
Wait a minute,
that.
there's another guy, not a comedian, but an entertainer guy. I remember my wife and I, when we were little, we used to go there, was Johnny Cochran.
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
Cochran. Yeah,
Rattenbog.
fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, the lawyer?
No, that's Johnny Cochran.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to apologize. We were supposed to have the other co-host tonight was an Italian guy. Couldn't make it.
I'm Shem.
I had to bring the Greek in. I'm sorry. I want to apologize.
The other guy's like...
That's why you made us
taking
use the
selfies.
back entrance, right?
That's
Okay,
right.
there you go.
Yeah, usually he used the back door when he came in. So you had one more heckling story? There was two of them, you said? There was another one?
Yeah, the other one we'll just let go.
Okay. Why, that guy disappeared? So what advice would you give to like the new up-and-coming comedians like who want to break into the business?
Well, I get a lot of
Gonzo.
calls. What's that?
You got comedians over here.
Oh, I always tell a lot of times sometimes I teach comedy classes, and I do it for free. A lot of people charge, but I don't because I want to help. I love helping out. And when they come up to me and ask me for advice, we sit down. It happened to him 3 weeks ago. A kid, was waited, and he was with his dad. You have any? You think you can help? After the show, And I sat down with him for a while, and I said, hey, but the bottom line is this: you got to go out and do it. No matter how you do it, you got to go out and do it. Yeah, I said, get a pencil and paper, get a notebook, keep it on you, write, and look for places to play. That's part of the job. I used to ride up and down Route 1, and if there was a band playing in some stupid little lounge, I'd go in, can I do a couple of jokes when you take your break? They'd be like, really? And believe me, those were tough crowds.
That's how you master the craft.
Yeah.
That's how you master the craft.
I used to want to put myself in every type of situation.
You hustled.
I want to be in every type of situation. Small crowds, big crowd, this crowd. I was fortunate. I opened up for Engelbert Humperdinck a couple of nights.
Oh, he had great hair.
Oh, yeah. So I sing you to sleep.
Right.
But he could not have been nicer. I'll tell you, great story. So we're backstage, because I did 2 nights with him, and then the South Shore Music Circus, and then the Cape Cod Melody Tent. And South Shore Music Circus went great, sold out, went fabulous. So when I get to the Cape Cod Melody Tent the next night, his agent said, oh my, I watched you, you were great. I told Enge all about you. So I was like, I want to meet Enge. He runs into his dressing room. He wants to meet you too. And after the show, I watched his show. He was phenomenal. And what he did this great Martin and Lewis. Now, I used to do the greatest Jerry Lewis in the country. And he did this Martin and Lewis tribute. So after the show, we're backstage, him and I, and we're talking the business. And he told me about the time the wise guys came. They didn't want him to record Strangers in the Night. True story. He was in Spain. He told me the story why he didn't really care for Sinatra. And he was in Spain. He hired a recording studio in Spain, getting ready to record Strangers in the Night. All of a sudden, knock on the door, 2 guys, white tie. If you know it's good for you, you won't record Strangers. Yeah, but I recorded. Look I'm just telling you better not do it.
Sinatra's guys.
And guess who recorded Strangers in the Night? Sinatra, right? Wow. But anyways, so there was so I said to him, I said, hey, Engelbert, I said, Enge, I said, you did a great Jerry Lewis. I said, I do a little Jerry. You like to do Jerry? And he went, I like to do Jerry. And now we were doing dueling Jerry Lewises. I went, oh my God, he's going to be in Lynn. I would love to get over and see him.
It's right, the Lynn Museum.
When I was a kid growing up, and I used to hear that name, I thought it was a fake name. I didn't think that was a real name.
Well, his real name is Jim Dorsey.
I thought there was a catch to that.
Jim Dorsey.
That he made up that name?
He got it out of some sort of book. It was a book.
Did he take every word in the book?
Yeah, right. Every alphabet, every.
Can you give us a little Jerry Lewis?
You like when I do the Jerry? Holding.
Jerry Lewis was the man.
He's less animated today, right?
I got to tell you something. I grew up on Jerry Lewis. Oh, that's a good one.
Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin was the man too.
They were the greatest. But I will say this: I have read everything there is to read on Jerry. I stay up till 2, 3 in the morning every night watching YouTube videos of Jerry Lewis. And the only thing that he was not a great father. He was not a great father to his kids. All 6 kids, he left nothing. He was worth $50 to $70 million, and he left his 6 sons 0.
Out of spite?
Where does money go?
It went to his wife, Sandy. Everything went to
kids.
What's her number?
Yeah.
Is it the wife with all the kids, or is it a second
No,
wife?
his first wife died, Patty.
So he left it to the second wife?
Second wife, and he left nothing to his
She
kids.
didn't take care of the kids?
No.
That's kind of weird.
If you were
It's
gonna,
her fault.
If you're gonna choose a comic like that you would look up to, the perfect comic, who would it be for you?
Well, you know something? The man I've admired since the day I started doing comedy was Lenny Clarke. I met Lenny 40 years ago. We've been friends for 40 years. And because of him, I've done things I never thought I'd do. I've met people who I've never thought I would meet. And so I love watching him work. I'm just like the luckiest. You know, I got to tell you something. Anywhere I work in the country, when I hear from Boston, and I started with Nick DiPaolo. I don't know if you know who Nick DiPaolo is.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Nick is one of the funniest guys in the country, and we started out together, and I love him, you know. And I just, you know, when I think about the people I did shows with what's his name, Louis C.K. Dane Cook. Oh, Dane Cook. Yeah, I've done. But who's the guy there? He has a great podcast. Mark Maron. I've done show Mark Maron. So I mean, and Sam Kennison. And I tell you, want to see? Would you want to hear Sam Kennison story?
I want to hear it all.
Sam Kennison story. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got about 5 minutes.
Oh, you live that. You know what this is? This is Sam. You know it's going to be in 100. It's going to be Sam. Okay. So I get a call. He had done the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedians. Okay. Now. He's the number one comic. He's traveling all around, but everybody's only seen 6 minutes of his act. Okay, he got hired at Nick's, sold out 500 people, goes on stage within 4 minutes. They're running to the exits, wanting their money back. So they fired him. He had no work. And this is not good. This is, like I said, 30 years ago. I was running this little place, Broadway East in Everett, Chinese. I had comedy shows on Saturday nights. I got a call. Would you like Sam Kennison Saturday night? I go, I can't afford Sam Kennison. $200. I'm like, yeah. I didn't even have time to advertise, but I still got about 70 or 80 people. I pick him up at his room. His girlfriend answers the door. She can't wake him up. It was at the Bicyteki over in
Was that the
Revere.
night he died?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Tapanaki.
Yeah, that's it.
Bicyteki
So I know.
killed him.
So I go in there and I'm going. So I'm so excited. I'm going to meet my first big HBO star. My first HBO star. Oh my God! Oh, I'm so excited. And I walk in the room. He's lying in the bed, face down, with just pants on. And I'm like, this is my HBO star. So I go, Mr. Kennison. He goes, Rah. I go, we got a show in 30 minutes. He goes, He gets his socks, smells his socks, he puts them on, smells his shirt.
I do that too.
That's just where he hides his
Sam
cocaine.
Kennison was Greek.
Yeah. Sam, he puts his shirt on. He says, honey, we have any Moe left? We did it last night, Sam. We have any Coke left? We did it last night, Sam. Get in the car, we drive to the place, and I watch him for the first time. Hysterical, filthy, crazy. I mean, Rock Hudson. You live in it. You know, the Rock Hudson did.
Yeah.
Who was that last act?
It was accepted back then. This type of humor was very funny in that time.
He was in Police Academy, right?
No, he was in
Wasn't
Back
he
to
Police
School.
Academy?
Back to School. That's Bobby Gold.
No, wasn't Kennison Police Academy?
Bobcat Goldway. So now,
I'm pretty sure it was me, man.
so I take him back to the hotel.
That'll
He
help the
said
show.
this was the night before he was gonna film Back to School too. And so she goes back to the room. I take him to Boston to Stitches, and there's like 2 girls waiting for him. They're gorgeous. I stay with them till 2 in the morning, and he told me his life story in that time, you know, on the ride and everything. Finally, I go, Sam, I got to get up at 5 o'clock. I deliver mail. He goes, oh, all right, man. And then he gives me a hug. I leave. 6 months later, hottest comic in the country. He's got buses, traveling all over. So I said to Lenny, "Will you leave a ticket? Give me a ticket. I want to go see him." He goes, yeah. So I go to Blanchett's. I get a big bottle of Moe. I stuff it down my pants, and there's plenty of room. So I get to Stitches. I get the ticket, and I know where everybody is upstairs. I know all the little secret rooms. I go upstairs, and I'm going in every room. And finally, I get to his room, and there they are. There's an unnamed group from Boston. I'm not going to mention their names. And there's a guy with a fur coat. There's Lenny, and there's these long lines of flour.
They're making pizzas.
Culinary arts.
And so
major.
I walk in and sit, and I go like this. So Lenny tried to stop me because I never did that stuff. So anyways, so I go, no, Lenny, I got something for Sam. I walk over, and Sam's got a rolled up bill, and I go, hey Sam, I got something for you. And I take out the Moe, and I go, here goes Sam, and he goes, yeah, thanks a lot. You know, and I didn't care. He blew me up, but I didn't care because look who he was with. And if I told you the group, I'll tell you off air who the group is. But anyway, so I walk out, and there's a long corridor.
Just like this.
All of a sudden, I'm walking on the corridor, and I hear this, Johnny! Johnny! Come over here! Come over here! And
Did you walk that way?
I walked back to him, and he puts me in this bear hug, and he squeezes me like this. He goes, hey, man, I'm really sorry for what I just did to you in there. I go, no, Sam, it's okay. I understand. No. He goes, that was rude, man. I'm sorry. I go, Sam, it's okay. No. This show's for you. He squeezes me. So I get out to my seat. I'm sitting right in front of the stage. Lenny goes on. Carl LeBeau goes on. And out comes Sam Kennison with the bottle of Moet. Shit face, right? He goes over to the mic. He goes,
you guys.
He goes, I'm supposed to do a 2-hour show, but then Johnny Pizzi got me fucked up!
That's classic.
Yeah.
Come on, let's hear it, man. That's great.
So, if you talk to Lenny Clarke, Paul D'Angelo, Dave Russo, they all say you're like the Godfather. You're like their Godfather. They say you set up but they say you set up the shows. You make sure everyone's always got something going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a true story, right? That's what you do.
Yeah, I try to help out. Yeah, and Paul D'Angelo. I mean, what Paul D'Angelo does on stage, not too many comedians do. Trust me, he's a terrific.
And you know what I notice is that comedians have a great rapport and camaraderie with one another. They help each other. It's not like a competition.
I mean, there are some competitions.
That's not the standard. So when you meet guys like Pizzi, when you meet guys like D'Angelo, Russo, and stuff like that, it's pretty cool.
All those guys' names end in a vowel.
It's not that common, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know, all those guys' names end in a vowel.
You know, I got to tell you, I've put on I've really tried to help out when I hear people are in need. When this girl that I knew was diagnosed with cancer, had a short time to live, I put something together. But I got to tell you something, guys. These Boston comics have never said no to me. And I raised $50,000 for this girl. She had 4 kids, and she was able to go to with the Fatima, Fatima, and
St. Jude,
and try to get a miracle, and all this, and which I'm proud of. But these comedians in Boston are the most. I mean, Lenny got off a plane and shot right over to where in Anthony's and Malden. I mean, Lenny's never said no to me. Sweeney, who I'll be performing, and if anybody goes to Florida, West Coast, Naples, from December 19th to the 23rd with Steve Sweeney.
Are you gonna be there?
It's going to be off the comedy club. We've done it the past 5 years, and it's amazing. All the crowds of Boston, and they just go crazy. It's just him and I. And we do the joke off at the end, and people just love it. You
think the Boston comics are the best comics in the country? Easy, hands down.
Carlo, wherever I go, without a doubt, Boston comedy is like the center. What do they call the center? The
nucleus.
The nucleus. The Mecca. The Mecca. The epicenter of comedy. Believe me.
That's why I'm on this show.
I'll give you an example. Colin Quinn, before he got Saturday Night Live, was the hottest comic in the country, right? Like in New York. Say the hottest comic in New York, just before he got Saturday Night Live. And so Joe Yannetti, a good friend of his, brought him to Boston to do it, and he got 11 shows. Hottest comic in New York. He bombed 10 out of the 11 shows. Okay, because he couldn't follow Boston comics, and he even said, he goes, "Wow, I've seen so many comics come to Boston and go, oh my God." And this is where
people.
Well, let me just tell you, people like Lenny Clarke, Don Gavin, Sweeney, Tony V, they set the standard up here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now, in order to become a good comic, you had to work at it, and they set that standard. And believe me when I tell you, anywhere in the country, you're from Boston? Oh my God, do you know this one? Do you know? Yeah, I know. Nicky's a good buddy of mine. This one, Lenny Clarke, and. So they put that bar. If somebody was stealing material, they'd go, "Come here, I want to talk to you." They would police. Made you work. It made you be creative.
Plus, you're playing to some of the biggest assholes in America, myself included. I'm a Bostonian. We don't like people. We don't laugh. To make a room full of people laugh, you gotta have a skill at that.
Well, let me tell you. The thing is, being growing up, I was always at the parties. Come on, Johnny, make us laugh, and I do Jerry Lewis, or I do whatever I did, try to make people laugh. It's a different ball game. You could be the funniest guy. I mean, I went to summer school every year, 6 years in a row. Why? Because I was a class clown, and then who got the last laugh? The teachers that sent me to Roxbury. Okay, I'd be the only white kid. Okay, thank God the black guys like Jerry Lewis. But anyways, it was what was my point here? The point was that Boston comedy is just this is the nucleus. This is where it all stems out from, right here.
Did you ever meet Rodney Dangerfield?
Hey, I tell you, when Lenny Clarke did the Rodney Dangerfield special, okay, I was invited. Lenny invited me down. I sat front row. As a matter of fact, it's called Nothing Goes Right. If you go on YouTube and watch it, and who's on the show? Dom Iera. I don't talk like that, do you? Carol Leifer. Oh my God! And that was where Andrew Dice Clay it was discovered. He was the last one. But Lenny went on. Oh, is that a commercial?
Not yet.
Okay. Lenny went on first, but as he was walking on the stage, he saw me and he went, "Hi, John," and that's my claim to fame. I was on HBO, but I met Rodney afterwards, and I said, "Hey, Rodney, can we take a picture?" He had his robe on, and so Lenny was taking the picture with a Polaroid, and he took the picture of Rodney from the waist down. So Rodney looks at the picture and goes, "Hey, I tell you, that's the best part of me."
What about Mel Brooks?
Never met him, but
how good was he?
How great was he? Yeah. Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke, the greatest. And still the great, 92 years old. Huh? Rob Petrie, right. And let me tell you something. The Honeymooners and Dick Van Dyke, to me, the greatest sitcoms ever. And if you watch The Honeymooners, 36 episodes, right? Never once did they have to go into anything dirty or in an innuendo. And when I tell you, still today, 65 years later, as funny today as they were yesterday.
Really?
True. Classics.
How about Eddie Murphy? He's another good one.
Well, I met Eddie Murphy once. Eddie Murphy, and by his own accord. Now, I love Richard Pryor. I love Richard Pryor.
He was good too.
My favorite, Richard Pryor, the greatest. Eddie Murphy took all his stuff. Eddie Murphy, yeah. Eddie Murphy will tell you. That's where he got his material from. Was Richard Pryor. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Eddie Murphy's a talented man. He did, but when he got started, he took everything from Richard Pryor.
He was awesome as that donkey.
Hey, Johnny, I can listen to this guy talk all night. You know something? What an education we just got. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
2 hours, really, honestly.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Anything coming up that we should know about?
Let's see. Well, I'm in Worcester this Friday night. But, come up to see me at Giggles. I'm there 2 weekends out of every month. I've been there for 28 years, thank God. And it's been Giggles is considered the #1 comedy club on the East Coast, east of the Mississippi.
Wow.
Trust me.
Wow.
It's an amazing place. And Lenny Clarke is now
you can have a slice of
there.
pizza.
All right, we're going to get into our first segment. You're not going anywhere. What do we got, McCluskey? What's our first segment of the night?
All right, let's get into some deep stuff here, right? Established in 1921, the Rorschach test is a way to examine a person's personality characteristics and emotional functioning. Since we know that you guys are all very cerebral, we want to see how your brain works, all right? In order for this to work accurately, you have to say the first thing that comes into your mind when you see the image. So we're going to show you an abstract image. You tell us what you see. The first one, this one is for Taso. Taso, what do you see here?
Well, I'm going to have to go with looks like a cowboy hat, clown. I don't even know what the other two figures
Threw
are.
up.
Yeah. I have no clue.
They stepped on a rodent or something.
Sure, I'll go with that. What the? Well, how did you guys think of this? What you guys on peyote?
Oh no, this is a test given to serial killers. We just want to see what your answers were.
You failed the test, so we know you're not a killer. You just killed goats.
So what would you say you saw here?
I just see the head of a guy, a cowboy hat.
I see a guy. I see 3 heads of a guy, but I don't know if you're being specific enough.
Well,
if you don't feel comfortable answering, we can move along.
Move along, please.
All right, let's move along. Johnny, yours is up next.
That's interesting.
Let us know what you see within this.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Random image.
I just read Stormy Daniels' book, and that is Trump's penis, right there. She described it to a T. I would know that penis anywhere after she described that penis.
It looks like two penises, those Trump's.
Well, he was looking in the mirror.
Is it upside down?
It's
got a two-shooter.
It's actually an upside down image of a man doing a preacher curl.
See? I knew something upside down.
Oh.
Us Greeks always choose backwards.
Carlo, let's see what's in the depths of your mind. What do you see in this image?
It looks like I don't know. Well, the bottom one looks like a Scottish guy playing the bagpipes on his knees.
Pretty close. I think it's somebody playing bags.
Ari's banging his neighbor. I'm not sure. One or the other. And the top one looks like some guy in the symphony orchestra is like playing the cello.
Really?
Yeah. Why? What are you guys, perverted?
It says if you mentioned classical music that your IQ is pretty high, so you scored pretty good on this one, Carl.
Well, I have a high IQ. Let's face it.
This segment.
I just can't spell my own name.
You know
what do you think it is, Johnny?
You know the top one? See the top right over my head?
It looks like a Chinese guy with a mustache.
Well, it looks like me a year after. I was 17 when I got
I know what it is.
And that looks like me a year later. It's going, oh, thank you,
It's
works.
a sexual position. The person's laying down and the other one's doing it kind of, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, because you're not used to those positions.
Those are all actually...
Wait a second. What do you mean you got circumcised at 17?
I was 17 years old when I got circumcised, and a year later, I had to make sure to see if it worked. And that looks like me going, yes, it works.
Why didn't you get circumcised at birth? What happened?
I was less than 2 pounds, and so they said, oh, bring him back, and
I was like a baby. I was like 8 pounds 3 ounces. Never mind.
Wow. And they didn't bring me back. And then when I was 17, I started to play sports, and then I look over and I go, geez, that's nothing with what I look like. Wow. And then my father took me, and then I got the chicken pox the day I got home after the surgery. It was awful.
They didn't have the shot back then, huh? They didn't have the vaccination back then? Chicken pox?
No, I never got it.
No.
I went home. Here I am, covered in Vaseline gauze, covered in chicken pox, lying in bed going, why did I do this? Why?
Well, you got it out of the way. You couldn't touch yourself for a week. Might as well have the chicken pox and the...
A year? The doctor goes... know what the doctor said to me? I swear to God. What happened was, 3 weeks after it happened, I got the chicken. Okay, I got the chicken. So I finally go back. I go in the room, and I just to find Mass General. I get there, and there's all people that lived in my building and the projects, and they're going, what are you here for? I go, oh, I have stomach problems. I go in the room. The doctor goes, okay, let's see how. He said, drop your drawers. I drop my drawers. He goes, oh, no. I go, what do you mean, oh, no? He goes, they left the gauze on, and it healed.
Oh, it healed around the gauze?
So, yeah.
Like
so he had,
mane.
So now,
hold on a second. I gotta hold on to something.
He rips it off and runs out of the room.
Did you bleed?
Oh, like
you have to ask that.
Yeah.
I
had to walk out like
was
this.
that before or after the circumcision?
I had to walk out like this, right? Everybody's like, what's the matter, Johnny? I go, nothing, Dad. Come on, let's go. And then he pops his head. The doctor goes, oh, by the way, don't jack off for a year. I go, I have no intentions.
That's impossible.
Yeah. That's impossible.
What do you got there, Clarke?
That's basically it. We're going to send your results to a lab and see which one of you guys is a psychopathic killer.
Okay. All right, listen, we're going to go pay some bills. We'll be right back in a minute.
Serving the North Shore of Boston for 20-plus years, Caponegro Construction specializes in all facets of residential and commercial construction. Custom homes, new construction, additions, kitchen remodels, and complete renovations. This family-owned and operated business takes great pride in the work they do and the products they deliver. No job too big or too small. Call for a quote today at 781-596-1414.
Johnny Pizzi in the house! I tell ya, what a crowd! What a crowd! I tell ya.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, Clarke, what's going on with this Kavanaugh guy? I've been hearing stuff all. We've been seeing what's going on with TV.
It's everywhere, right?
Can you tell me about this?
Okay, this guy. He's been a judge for years, and now he's trying to become a member of the Supreme Court, and everybody and their mother's saying that he put his finger in her. And basically, we're at breaking balls. We don't like picking sides in politics. We want to be friends with everybody, but we did see some interesting things in the testimony that we think might be worth talking about. All right.
Okay.
So, Taso, during the process to nominate Supreme Court Judge Kavanaugh was accused of sexual assault nearly 40 years ago. Yeah. As a way to defend himself, he said that he never had sex until after high school. How old do you think he was, and how do you imagine that first sexual experience for this dork to have gone down?
Oh, I don't know. Look at his face. Very angry guy, so it had to be, I'm thinking late college years, probably towards the end. and probably a girl that I don't.
It was the lunch lady that gave him extra chicken nuggets every day.
He can only bang
his senior year.
This guy can only bang a fat chick. Let's face it. I mean, he's not going to get a good-looking chick.
I think he's still a virgin.
Did you see his wife? She looked like olive oil. You see it in the background the other day on the show? She looked like fucking olive oil. Have you seen her?
No, I was actually looking at the girl that looked
it's like a goddamn show.
There was a girl that actually looked like Alyssa Milano. I don't know what you looked at.
Yeah,
She's there. That's her. That's Melissa Milano.
No, that's a court report.
Yeah.
That was a court report.
No, it's Alyssa Milano.
Don't ruin the fantasy, please.
But I mean, this whole thing's a circus.
I still don't think he got laid.
You don't?
I just think
he's a virgin still.
I just think this is the best we can do. They can't find a cleaner guy like someone from a staff.
Right. Probably you. Your staff's clean now.
It's new.
The undercarriage.
All right, Carl, are you ready for a little bit more in-depth analysis of this guy?
Go ahead.
In 1982, his yearbook mentioned that he enjoyed the Devil's Triangle. We Googled the Devil's Triangle, and the Urban Dictionary describes it as a threesome with 2 men and 1 woman. But the guys don't make eye contact, so it's not gay.
No crossing swords.
It's also been, he's saying that it's a game of coins where you would bounce a coin into a cup. So the question to you is, have you ever had a Devil's Triangle?
So, okay.
You're under oath, by the way.
Totally
you're just hanging out a bunch of guys, a couple solo cups, a couple coins, girl walks in, Devil's Triangle.
I played quarters with 2 girls before. Okay, back in the day.
Provincetown.
So, like, what's it? Devil's Triangle is actually when 2 guys are banging 1 girl, and do they touch each other and look at each other?
I would imagine they have to form a triangle, so maybe a high five and the girl in the middle is like a pipe connecting them.
Is that what you've done?
We can still do it.
Like a Lego piece.
You'll be the girl, okay? No, only thing I've ever done like that with a threesome like that was playing quarters.
Only
Myself against 2 girls.
rich kids do that.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like on St. Patrick's Day.
So maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's
lying.
He's a recreational drinker.
He's lying. There's no way he's going to get caught. There was no cameras. Nothing, back then, there was no internet. He's not going to get caught. I would keep lying if I was him, too.
Carlo, I have to admit, I did have a threesome. It was me and 2 blow-up dolls.
Really?
It was fantastic.
How'd it work out?
Well, I deflated one.
Right. Is that a Belichick joke?
John, that might be relevant. We're coming up to you. Judge Kavanaugh's accusers, Dr. Ford, said she remembers the night clearly from where she was in the bedroom, the spatial furniture. She remembers all this shit. But she doesn't remember the drive home. Now, can you ever remember a night where you had a really good time and didn't remember the ride home?
Right here.
You never blacked out.
No, I wasn't really much of a drinker when I was young. And so, no, I've always remembered my ride home. I don't know how I got there, but I always remember the ride home. The whispering over there in the crowd. Hey, I tell you.
You're under oath.
Passing me a note.
You're under oath.
All right, so, Johnny.
Yeah.
You live in Saugus.
I do.
Okay. It's nice and close to other comedy clubs. I like to go to Saugus once in a while because I love Cane's Donuts.
Oh.
I go there. I mean, I'm in Saugus. I drive around a lot. I go to Revere, different spots. My father's in the cemetery in Everett, so I drive that way. I go to Cane's Donuts all the time. What's the story with you and Cane's Donuts? I heard you had a little, like, dust-in or a problem with the Cane's Donut driver.
It was a...
Trucker?
Well, what happened was one morning at 4:30 in the morning, underneath my window, they started loading their truck at 4:30 in the morning. So Paul Delios was the one that was doing it, and I called down to him. I said, "Hey, Paul, what are you doing? It's 4:30 in the morning." He ignored me. I thought it was a one-time deal, and the next night they did it the next day. Then they did it the next day, and then finally I went up to town hall, and there are laws that saying you
bylaws?
can't. Yeah, bylaws say you cannot load and unload until 7 o'clock in the morning.
What time were they doing this?
4:30. So, and everybody said, "Oh, you got to go in front of the board."
Maybe they were in Greek time. I mean, the Greeks, 4:30 is maybe 7 over there. Yeah. Is that how it works?
So anyways, it was kind of an all-out law. They tried to do everything they could. They got restraining orders against me. Oh yeah,
Would you threaten someone?
No, I did not. No, the sister Maria made up all kinds of lies, and I had to go in front of a magistrate.
Mr. Monday, I don't mean to interrupt here, but we just got a telephone call from somebody listening to the show. Can we put them through live?
Yeah, who is it?
They said that they're involved in the situation. I don't know.
All right, put them through. Who is it?
Hey, Mr. Monday. It's first time, long time. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm a delivery driver for Cane's.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, that's me.
How you doing, buddy?
Big Billy.
What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm a big fan. I'm so excited to be on the show. I'm a huge fan of John, too. That's why I'm upset about this whole thing. I don't want this to keep going on like this. I lived in Saugus before, you know.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
So what made you call in?
Well, I just wanted to clear it up. I don't like making all that noise in the morning. I'm just, I get all amped up. It's 12 o'clock in my day, you know what I mean? I'm feeling like I'm in the middle of I'm just losing control. I'm listening to Aerosmith, and I'm just doing my thing, you know?
So you don't sleep much?
No.
So
Monster Energy drink.
So you're the driver who pissed this guy off, who you had to go to, like, the town clerk magistrate. I mean, it's not really the driver's fault. He's just doing his job.
Doing his job.
He's doing his job.
I like starting early.
You know something, Bill? Now, if you're the same guy, if you were the driver, then you're the same guy that when they dropped that tray of donuts and they rolled under the truck, were you the one that crawled under the truck and got the donuts, put them back on the tray, and back out for delivery?
I love this show. This is a great show. God, Mr. Monday is the best. I like Monster Energy drinks. They're my favorite.
God. I gotta start drinking.
All right, so anyways.
Can I just say hi to my son Billy Jr.?
Go ahead.
Hi, Billy Jr.
That's great.
So what's the end result here?
So the end result was they're opening up a new place on Route 1, and supposedly, again, I don't believe anything that Paul Delio says because he's a tremendous liar, but supposedly they're going to do all the donut making on Route 1, and there'll be no more trucks. I mean, put it this way, if you had trailer trucks blocking the street, you'd be pissed off.
So you live directly next door to him?
Right next door.
To the right or the left?
To the right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it just wasn't lousy. But I also, the part of it, the selectmen, that's a great selectman, except for one guy who I'm very disappointed in, Scott, who was very, very close to Delio's family, and he was doing all this research. Little did I know at the time he was very close with them, and he sided with them. He should have reclused himself from the proceedings, which he didn't do. So
he's being a snake.
He was being a snake.
Is he heavy? Yeah. Did he eat a lot of donuts?
Oh, yeah, he gets all his donuts free.
Things have changed down there, by the way, too. The donuts are different now.
Yeah. Well, you know something? I will say this. I mean, yes, Kane's donut. I'll give you all the credits. Great, they're great donuts. I can't take that away. I haven't had even before it all happened. I stopped eating Kane's donuts because they're great. Paul and the Maria. I mean, they've both had the that surgery, the bypass, because they've eaten all those donuts over the years, and I don't want that to happen to me. You know what I mean? I'm bad enough as it is. But anyways,
can we try to make peace here, or is we just kind of
put it this way: they load the trucks now on Lincoln Ave, away from my window. But they said, they're going to be opening up this new place, and it'll all stop. I says, okay, I'm not looking for trouble. I never did look for trouble. They're the ones that started the trouble, so it's right now. It's been pretty good. They stopped with the large trucks. They got the small trucks delivering now, and the delivery thing.
Taso, you okay? I know your Greek brethren.
We're hardworking people. That's all. We're willing to work with everybody, but we're hardworking people.
Was it the goats making all the noise, or was
they do serve? No, they do serve goat. They do serve goat milk there.
My goats get offended when I come on his show.
They should. All right. Well, anyways, I hope things work out with you.
They're going to film. I think they're going to film a reality show there called My Big Fat Greek Donut.
Nice. They get Windex filling. All right,
no stereotypes in this show.
What do we got, McCluskey?
All right, well, here at the Monday Show, if you're a fan, you've seen, we do all of these segments, but they don't just come organically. We have to have meetings where we pitch these, and there's a lot of them that don't actually make it to the air because for one reason or another, it doesn't work. Either Carlo doesn't like it, or there's a safety issue, or we can't find Africanized bees.
It's usually the producers who shoot it down, not me.
We're gonna start off with
those guys.
Well, let's get into it here. Let's show some of the options that people could have seen, and you can tell us why we never did this.
Okay.
I'm scared of this segment.
The first one is called Guess That Gas, where we were gonna have co-hosts and different guests come on and blast a hot fart into your face and see if you could tell what they had for lunch.
Yeah, that looks like Greek gas. That guy's a Greek. and he's farting in a thing. It's Greek gas.
What's with the Greek jokes?
I'm
today?
just saying, Tasso, you happen to be here tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we have this suction cup thing. You lick one end and then put it on the guy's butt. Hopefully it's the device, not the guy. And then Carlo releases a valve which allows. We built a prototype of this, and we never did the bit.
I mean, you wouldn't want this segment on your show, would you? I mean, think about it. Some farting in your mouth.
No, I'm not. I'm not big on farts.
Have you farted before?
Well, yeah, in my own pride. There's this unknown one comedian. What he'll do is he'll walk by, and he'll go like, but silent but deadly, and walk away. And then you try, you go, what the? And then they call it crop dusting.
Oh yeah, it's a drive-by.
Have you farted since you've been here tonight?
No, I haven't.
Wonder what that smell is. Must be Tasso.
If you have to, let us know because we'll get the tube out.
Okay.
But let's move on to the next one.
What's the next one?
The next rejected segment. I thought this was great. It's called Geometry or Electricity, and basically we were going to give you high-level calculus problems while having a jumper cable hooked up to your testicles, and if you got it incorrect, we'd give about 30,000 volts into you.
I'm dead.
Everybody said no to this one.
No way. Why? I would never get one right. I'd be like sterile in like a half a minute. Why would I do this one?
You have to be obtuse.
Wait a minute. What's the reaction? I mean, would it be like a jump start?
So basically, I'm going to ask you the Pythagorean theorem, and if you don't know it, I'm going to shove a lightning bolt through your pee hole.
Let's just say I don't know. What happens? How does that
lightning bolt will go through your pee hole.
They shock you. They shock you.
Yeah. We didn't do it.
Circumcision.
Are you into anything like that sexually? Shock treatment? No.
No. I'm just a
regular old school guy.
So we did knock this segment down, right?
No, but we do have a car battery and a baby pool if you guys want to try this.
No thanks. I'm not looking to try this.
Figgy will sign up for that.
Well, this last one. This was a pitch by me, and nobody wanted to do it. I grew up in the Double Dare generation, and basically, we wanted to fill a bowl with piss and adhere it to your head while putting you in a cage filled with bees in our new segment, Bee Fodder or Pee Water. And basically, you don't want to get it in your mouth, but you don't want to be stung by the Africanized bees that we have here. So as you can see in this mock-up segment
killer
here,
bees.
Can you die?
We are both dodging urine and insects.
So wait a minute. It's either get stung by the bees or drink urine.
You are balancing the pee on your head, so it's very difficult to not get it on you while being stung by bees. Tasso,
and you know who brought this up? Who brought this one up? John Fury. He wanted this. He wanted to drink.
Yeah, but he has a bee allergy, so
he's got his own freaking thing up here and everything.
This definitely says Michael Senna.
I have 30 bottles of Gatorade and EpiPens. If anybody wants to do this right now.
No thanks.
Okay, thanks.
I don't like any of these segments.
No.
You know?
No. We'll pass.
All right, what do we got left? I think that's kind of it.
The other ones we'll save those for another episode.
Hey, well, listen, thank you, Mr. Pizzi, for coming tonight.
It's been amazing.
Thank
you all.
I could have listened to this guy all night long. I could have listened to you all night long. This show could have went on for 3 hours.
We're going to go to Fantasy Island. We're going to listen to him all night long.
They're playing.
So our favorite day comes to a close, and remember, we don't look forward to the weekend. We look forward to Monday.
Yeah.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Monday! Summer's coming, get your tank tops. Universal sizes, one fits all. Get your dress shirt for your summer wearing. Get your summer tank tops, gray or black. Black makes it look thin. Get your tank tops, summer's coming. I got thousands of tank tops to sell. Let's go, the summer's here. Summer's here. Summer's here. You want to get a suit coat for the summer? For your summer wearing? Let's go! I Love Monday t-shirts back in stock. We shelved it up. Monday hoodies on sale. Buy a bunch of them. Black print breaking balls hats like the millennials wear. Wedding season's coming. Get your dress shirt. The original I Love Monday t-shirt. Let's go, you scumbag.